Hi there. All right. So indeed, this is a brand new honor which I created entitled the Laughter Honor. And just a little background on how I created it. It was this pretty simple story. I was just one day I was just watching something funny, and I thought to myself, we laugh all the time, but is there really an honor in Pathfinders about laughter? So I searched up to see if there's a laughter honor, but there wasn't any laughter honor. So I decided at that moment of time, I'll decide to create the laughter honor. And here we are today. I'm presenting it here. So we've got 10 requirements for the laughter honor. The first requirement is know the meaning of laughter. The second requirement is know the meaning of gelotology. The third requirement is discuss what happens in the brain when we laugh. The fourth requirement is discuss the difference between worldly joy and everlasting joy. The fifth requirement is discuss whether there is a place for Christian comedy. The sixth requirement is memorize and discuss the meaning behind Proverbs 17, verse 22. The seventh requirement is create a presentation for your club or church on how laughter is good for our health. The eighth requirement is hand out free Bible text, which encourages everlasting joy to your community. The ninth requirement is make a friend or family member laugh. And finally, the 10th requirement is design a laughter prescription or card for someone who is sad. So we're going to go through these 10 requirements today. So the first requirement, know the meaning of laughter. I wonder, what is the meaning of laughter? Well, here I've got laughter is to express happiness, amusement, ridicule, or other feelings by making a sound with the mouth and a change in the face to an expression like a smile. So you can see over here on the right, the baby is laughing. It's she or he is expressing happiness. And with that, they're changing their expression to a smile and they're making sounds with it. So it's very interesting when it comes to laughter. But here's more. Why do we laugh? We laugh every day, but I always wondered, why do we laugh? Laughter is triggered by sensations. So when we hear other people laugh, or when we're being tickled by our siblings or parents, or it's through thoughts that we've been thinking of a funny moment in the past, or social cues such as jokes or just interactions. These are some of the reasons why we laugh. But here's another question. Can we control laughter? Well, here I've got laughter is the body's involuntarily response to humor. And so it involves a subjective appreciation to the humorous situation or stimulus. So in other words, we can't really control our laughter. There is moments where we just laugh and we don't know why we're laughing. So it's just a natural thing that comes with our body. All right, here, guys, I've got a task. I've got an activity for you. And in this activity, we're going to go over different types of laughter. And what I want you to do at your homes is to kind of give an example of how these will sound. And I'll also help you. So here's the first one, a chuckle. You laugh quietly and inwardly, so it's a quiet laugh. So here's an example of a chuckle. So I just want you at homes or wherever you are, just to do a little chuckle. Yeah, feel good? All right, so let's move on to the next one. A giggle. That's a silly or nervous laugh. Let's see, a silly or nervous laugh. That's my giggle. All right, let's see the next one. Ooh, a cackle. It's a loud laugh suggestive of a hen sound after laying an egg. I don't know how a hen sounds after laying an egg, but that's my cackle. All right, this is what I'm most excited for, a belly laugh. I'm sure some of you experienced that one time in your life. A belly laugh is a really deep laugh when you hear a good joke. All right, are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure we've experienced that sometime in our life, and good belly laugh. So those are just some examples of different types of laughter. And here's a little interesting fact. Do you know that some animals can also laugh? It's not just us humans that can laugh. Here's a little task that you can do in the chat. Can you name some animals who can laugh?
All right, let's hear. You know, which animals do you know can laugh? It would be great to hear, guys. Do you know any of the animals? Let's have a check here in the Zoom because they're here. Well, somebody says hen, dog, a hyena, parrot, donkey. Well, that's how it looks like. Yeah, my brother, that's what I have here on the Zoom, on the Facebook. Nothing coming yet, by the way.
All right, that's fine. There's a lot of animals that can laugh, surprisingly enough. Almost like 65 different species of animals can laugh. So I've got here apes, rats, dogs, dolphins, but there's many more animals that can laugh, you know, hyenas. So it's not just limited to these 4 animals. So yeah, well done to you guys. So let's move on to the next requirement, which is know the meaning of gelotology. All right. So I've got here, gelotology is the science and study of laughter. So there are actually people that study laughter and do experiments based off of, you know, humor and laughter.
Daniel, just a question before you continue. Somebody says, are they really laughing or they just sound like they're laughing when it comes to animals? Because somebody is asking. Also, people mention monkeys. They laugh as well.
Yeah, monkeys laugh. So in terms of the animals, some animals do make the sound of laughing, but as I mentioned before, with dogs or apes and rats, when you tickle them, they actually make a sound that sounds like they're laughing, similar to humans. So maybe it suggests that they are actually laughing when you like tickle them, or maybe they're just making that sound. Who knows? But yeah, thank you for that question. So as I was saying, the term gelotology, it originates from the Greek word gelos, which means laughter. And gelotology studies how laughing can affect the human mind and body. And just a little more interesting fact, gelotology was founded by William Finley Furr Jr. in 1924 to 2004. So if gelotology is the science and study of laughter, what are the names of the people who actually study this? I've got here, a person who studies humor and laughter is called a. So who is a person that studies humor and laughter? What are they called?
Alrighty, question for all of our amazing Pathfinders is on the screen. What is the name? All right. You can see it. You can see Daniel in the comments. They are saying gelotologist.
Gelotologist, nice. That is indeed correct. They are called gelotologist. All right, so let us move on to the third requirement. I've got a video here. The third requirement is discuss what happens in the brain when we laugh. So I'm going to let this expert tell us what happens in the brain when we laugh.
The frontal lobe of the brain is responsible for emotional responses. The left side of the brain is responsible for interpreting the words and the structure of a joke. The right side is responsible for identifying what makes it funny. And the limbic system is also important. This area includes the amygdala and the hippocampus and is involved in basic responses like fear or hunger. The motor areas of the brain become active, and these are the areas that actually produce the chuckle or the physical action of laughing.
All right, thank you for that. So as you can see, there's a lot of areas within our brain that actually controls when we're laughing. So I'm going to break it down for you. Let's look at this little meme right here. This guy, he knows 140 knots, but he still can't untangle his headphones, which is, you know, pretty hilarious. But with this, I said here, the frontal lobe, as mentioned in the video, is responsible for our emotional responses. So the emotion that we'll most likely be feeling is joy. And with this, the left side of our brain would interpret the words and structure of the joke. So as we read this, we're going to be interpreting. On the right side of the brain is going to identify the actual humor in the joke. And then with our limbic system, that controls the emotional responses that you feel. And I said, we're feeling joyous and laughter comes out thus. And with that, the motor areas would actually generate the physical action of laughing. So we actually would actually come out. So with this, with the limbic system of the brain set in motion to the physical reaction of laughter. So you see, with the limbic system, it gets the message from the frontal lobe that we need to laugh at something. And then it sends the message out, which sets the physical process of laughter in motion. So by stimulating the motor region of the brain to become active, and that's what actually produces the physical reaction of laughing and the vocal expulsion of sound. So this is basically what happens in our brain when we laugh. You know, it's very interesting how, you know, there's a lot of things going in our brain just for what seems so simple, just laughing at a joke. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Requirement 4, discuss the difference between worldly joy and everlasting joy. So I'm going to ask you this question, but before I do that, I'm going to give you my opinion. So in my opinion, I think there are like two major differences. So the first difference that I think is worldly joy is limited, whereas everlasting joy lasts forever. And I've got a text here, Matthew chapter 6, verse 20, and it says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. So what I got from Matthew chapter 6, verse 20, it shows us the first important difference between the happiness of the world and God's kingdom. The joy that comes from God lasts for an eternity, whereas the happiness of this world does not. It doesn't matter, you know, with the latest iPhone, I think they got iPhone, what is it, 12 or 13, I don't know. The latest iPhone, you know, or the latest Samsung, it doesn't matter because they're going to make a new one anyway, or you may break your phone. Those only bring you joy for a limited time, you know, the presents and stuff. They only bring you joy for a limited time. But God's joy has no limit. You know, it starts with the joy of salvation and it lives on to the age to come. So if we have faith and build a salvation in God, our joy will last forever in Him. All right, so the next major difference that I came up with between worldly joy and everlasting joy is worldly joy is only achieved, whereas everlasting joy is freely given. And the text that I've got is Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It says here, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So with this, I got that God's joy is a gift freely given, not one duly earned. I believe the world wants you to believe that happiness is to be pursued intently and vigorously. But God's joy was the one that came down from heaven as a man. Jesus came down and he made a way for us to experience his joy and gives it to us, not based on our merit, but on his faithfulness. Christ's death, burial, and resurrection made it a way for us to experience true and lasting joy. So with that, I've given you two of my opinion of the difference between worldly joy and everlasting joy. But I want you to think, do you have any other differences that you believe between worldly joy and everlasting joy?
All right. If you do have any more differences, make sure you put it in the comments in Zoom or Facebook. But David, Daniel, please go ahead and present, and if something comes in, I'll let you know.
All right.
We missed the question there.
Funny enough, I got another question. Just a little question. Do you believe that God has a sense of humor?
And that question might be much easier to answer for everybody, guys. If you believe God has a sense of humor, you just say yes. And if you don't think, you just say no in the chat section. Let's have a look. Daniel, wait for a few seconds. We're gonna just have a, oh, here it is. The answers are flying in. We have Sarah, which says yes. Joanna said yes. We have our friends from Dubai. Esther says yes. Luke said yes. Hey, it seems to me they think God has a sense of humor. Are you guys sure about this?
Yeah, they are indeed correct. I also believe that God has a sense of humor. So yeah, thank you, everyone. All right, so let's move on to our fifth requirement, which is discuss whether there is a place for Christian comedy. So we've all established that God has a sense of humor. So let's see what I've said here. I said, in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with comedy in general, and Christians should be known for their laughter and joy in appropriate settings and contexts. We are free to enjoy comedy that does not dishonor God, but in fact, we can bring glory to God by taking joy in funny things of life and thanking Him for it. And I've got here Ephesians chapter 5, verse 4. It says, let there be no filthiness, no foolish talk, no crude joking, which are out of place, but instead let there be thanksgiving. So I've got another question for you. Can you think of some fun activities to do, some fun Christian activities that will bring you joy and laughter, but also bring honor and respect to God?
All righty, question for all of us that. Can you think of some fun Christian activities? Some people said, look in the mirror. It's a quite funny Christian activity, I guess. Memorise, they're saying it's a fun Christian activity. Daniel, that's all I have at the moment. Maybe more. Bible charades is another option. Soup kitchen maybe for fun. Well, soup kitchen can be fun as well. Sometimes a little bit tough as well because many people are struggling there. So yeah, that's what we have, Daniel, for now.
Nice, nice. All right. So we've done the first 5 requirements of dishonor. And before we do the final 5, we're going to take a little break. And I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine. All right, I'll just introduce him. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? We've got a little quiz for you on the subject of laughter. So, Pathfinders, welcome to Daniel Matthews' fabulous, amazing, incredible, fantastic quiz. I've got 5 questions on the subject of laughter, and if it's okay with you, Pastor Dejan, I want you to help me out with this quiz. All right, so let us move on to the first question. How many times does human on average laugh per day? So I want you typing in the chat, how many times does humans on average laugh per day?
All right, we have answers 100, 12, 350, 10 times. That is all in Zoom, Daniel. Somebody said 20,000 times.
20,000, wow. Well, it's way less than that. It's actually on average, humans laugh 17 times per day. All right, let's move on to the next question. Second question. Ooh, this is a true or false question. True or false? The study of laughter and humor is called humorology. Is that true or false?
Ooh. People are saying it's false, mainly.
False. Ooh, let's see if you're correct. Well done, indeed, it's false. Clearly you were listening to requirement 2. The study of laughter and humor is actually called gelotology. Let's move on to the third question. This is a multiple choice question, by the way. Whose name means he laughs? Is it A, Peter, B. Abraham, C. Isaac, or D. Job, whose name means he laughs? A, B, C, or D?
Alrighty, so the answers are flying in. And Daniel, they're saying it's a C, Isaac.
It's C. Let's see if you're correct. Well done indeed. It's C. Isaac. Seems like our Pathfinders know what they're doing. Let's move on to the next question. Oh, another true or false question. True or false? Unlike yawning, laughter is not contagious. Is that true or false?
Alrighty, the answers are flying in very quickly. They're saying this is false.
Let's see if they're correct. Yes, you are correct. Laughter is indeed contagious. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our final question. So let's see what our final question is for today. Fill in the blank. He will yet fill your mouth with blank and your lips with shouting. Job 8, verse 21. So what's that word there?
The word, Daniel, the other Pathfinders are really fast. They're saying he'll fill your mouth with the laughter.
Oh, is it laughter? Is it that word? Let's find out. Well done, Pathfinders. Wow, you were good at this quiz. I'm pretty sure you got all of them correct, so well done. And that's it for this quiz. So I'm Daniel Matthew. Thank you for playing this quiz today, and we'll continue this honor. All right, I'm back, and thank you. I'm back, and our sixth requirement is memorize and discuss the meaning behind Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 22. So Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 22 says, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones." So with this, what I've taken away from this is that this is telling us that a merry heart is good for your spiritual, emotional, and physical health. However, if you have a broken spirit, then it will dry your bones like a skeleton. So I've got a little task for you in terms of this. I want you to look at this text, and I want you to remember as much as you can, because when I click the next slide, some words will be missing, and I want you to type in the chat what those words are. So I give you 10 seconds. I'm counting in my mind.
All right, people, hurry up, hurry up.
All right. Now let's see if you remember. Type in the chat which words are missing.
Wow. I think we will be surprised. I think our Pathfinders are good. So they're saying the first word that's missing is heart.
All right.
All right. I think that's pretty much everybody. And then it's a good like a medicine, they're saying. Is that correct, Daniel?
All right. Unfortunately, I've got all of them together, so we're going to continue.
All righty. Let you write, everybody write quickly, and then Daniel, you tell us what is correct.
All right. So everyone's writing, and the correct answer is heart, medicine, spirit, and bones. So those are the correct answers. Heart, medicine, spirit, and bones. All right. Let's move on to the next requirement, which is requirement 7. Create a presentation for your club or church on how laughter is good for your health. This is an activity based. You got to create a presentation. And I've got a quick video here, which gives you some facts about how laughter is good for your health. And pay attention, because I may be asking you some questions based on this video. So, based on this video, can you name some of the ways that laughter is good for our health?
Everything all right, Ian?
Oh, sorry. I said, based on this video, can you name how laughter is good for your health?
All right. Okay, here comes the answers. He says manages pain, lowers blood pressure, makes you look better. It reduces stress. You know, it's good for friendships for sure. So this is the answers we have here.
Nice, nice. And yeah, I've got even more facts right here. Laughter relaxes the whole body. A good, hearty laugh reveals physical tension and stress, leaving your muscles relaxed for up to 45 minutes after. Laughter boosts the immune system. Laughter decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells and infection-fighting antibodies, thus improving your resistance to disease. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Endorphins promote an overall sense of well-being and can even temporarily relieve pain. And even more facts, laughter protects the heart. Laughter improves the function of the blood vessels and increases the blood flow, which can help protect you against a heart attack and other cardiovascular problems. Laughter burns calories. So it's not a replacement for going to the gym, by the way. You can't just sit and just laugh and expect to get fit. You still have to go to the gym, but it says that one study found that laughing for 10 to 15 minutes a day can burn approximately 40 calories, which can be good enough to lose 3 or 4 pounds over the course of a year. And finally, laughter lightens anger heavy load. Nothing diffuses anger and conflict faster than a shared laugh. Looking at the funny side can put problems into a perspective and enable you to move out of confrontations holding onto bitterness and resentment. So if I was you, I would have been writing down some of these stuff so you can put it into your presentation when you're presenting it for your club or for your church. But these are just some information that will be useful to you. All right, moving on to the 8th requirement, which is also, oh my, seems like someone is having a journey out there. The 8th requirement is hand out free Bible text, which encourages everlasting joy to your community. So this is just something, it's a bright day today, so you might even be able to do it today, depending on where you're at. But you can just go out into your community and hand out free Bible texts. And I've got something to start you off. I've got Psalm 16, verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand, and our pleasures forevermore. So just go out into your community, hand out free Bible text, encouraging people. It's a nice, good activity with your parents or even with your club. All right, and our 9th requirement is make a friend or family member laugh. You can either tell a joke or do a funny skit. I've got a joke for you. Why was Boaz alone? Because he was ruthless. Yeah, that was a terrible joke. So instead, I've got a better idea. Pastor Dejan, have you got a good joke for us?
I actually don't. I'm not a funny person whatsoever. I only have a funny face. That's what it is, Daniel.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I just ruined everything. But still, that's fine. Let's see if there's any other funnier people out there. You could tell a joke, do a funny skit, and just make a friend or family member laugh. All right, let's move on to our, wait, are we on our final requirement already? Let's see, design a laughter prescription or card for someone who is sad. Example, you could, you got to be creative. You can draw, paint, or even design a riddle. Something to make people, happier when they're sad. I've got here a little prescription to the side. It says laughter is the best medicine. Smile instead of growl. A daily dose of jokes and laughter and enjoying life. That's my prescription apparently. We got here from Dan's Pharmacy that laughter is the best medicine. You take now and it will relieve your sadness symptoms immediately, and ingredients are 100% pure. Interesting. And of course, laughter is the best medicine. So just design a prescription or a card, something like that, so they're a fun activity to do in terms of uplifting someone who may be sad. All right, well, that was a final requirement. So with that being said, as I bring this presentation, this honor to a close, I just want to leave you some words of encouragement. God designed us to enjoy the benefits of laughter. The world is filled with pain, suffering, and constant heartache, but we have the hope in Jesus, and his joy is within our reach. The Bible tells us that in his presence is fullness of joy, and that joy of the Lord is our hope and strength. Joy is not just simply another emotion, but it is the fruit of the Spirit, one of the best weapons to fight against discouragement, disappointment, and defeat. Remember, laughter induces endorphins beneficial to our health. So instead, smile instead of scowl, giggle instead of grumble, belly laugh instead of belly ache. Finally, Job chapter 8, verse 21 says, he will once again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. So let us look forward to that glorious day of everlasting joy and peace. But for now, have a daily attitude and gratitude of praise and thanksgiving. LOL more, Pathfinders. LOL more. Yeah, thank you for listening and my brand new honor.